So let's jump into the demo. Uh, I'm going to start with this demo page here, and we'll show the repo later, but we've added instructions here to show how to explore the application. I'll go to the manual API request screen so that we can create a certification request. If you have joined us or watched previous demos, you'll recognize this page. This page is for demo purposes only and shows how the API request would work if it were to manually happen. As a reminder for what's happening here, each time a member needs to certify their community engagement compliance, the process begins with what we're calling a certification request for that member. A certification request is the case for each person that must be addressed successfully to receive or retain coverage. I'll go through let's go through this and see what the automated compliance ex parte hours data experience looks like. And I'll add a few details here. Member email, first name, last name, date of birth. I'll select something that is in range. Medicaid case number. Region, I'll select Franklin. Region is related to our authorization concept, but I'll go into that later. And if you remember, if you joined us last time, we have ex parte data fields in here already for automatic exemptions. Date of birth, pregnancy status, race, ethnicity. And under ex parte scenario, I'll select partially met work requirements and request the certification. All right, so upon creation of this request, the member receives an email. Let me just refresh this. Did I do my right email address? I did. Here we go. There's the email. Um, so last time we saw this through the batch intake flow. In the same way, I'll show you here. You can see my email that I received from the state saying that they found 10 hours. I still need 70 hours and the deadline. We go briefly into what to have ready and where to go. So I'll click into this. And this will take me to OSCER. I would log in if I was a new user. I'm already logged in for demo purposes. So I can get started. I have a few options when I log in. I can get started with the exemption screener, which we showed last time. We left this as primary because circumstances could have changed. We're also considering an experience for returning members, something like, has anything changed since the last time you reported? But here below, I can see there's a message notifying me about how many hours were found and how many hours I still have left to report. So I'll continue report activities. I have the before you start page to get me oriented. I can select the reporting period. Again, this is sent over from the state. And then I'll see here that I can see the employment activity and the ex parte data that came in already. So the source is from the state, an employment type, and the 10 hours that was found. I still need 70 hours additional. And so I'll go through and add in my additional hours. I'll do community service, report hours spent, add in the organization, select the month, and I'll do 70 hours to meet the requirement. Upload supporting evidence, continue. And here I can see a table breaking it down with the self-reported activity. So I'll see that the source is self-reported, the activity type, and the hours. I'll also see here that I have reported 80 hours and I do not need any additional hours. And I'll review and submit the report. Just a note before we jump into the staff experience, if we found 80 hours or more hours for the reporting period, the member would be found compliant and we would notify them and no action is needed from them. They would never log into the system. And so we would send them an email like this. That's it for the member experience. We're reducing the burden of how many hours they will need to report here. Let's jump into the staff side. All right, so we'll see under the cases here, Casey Job's the one that I just created. And we can go into the certification details. We have the case view here, which shows just some certification details, tasks that are associated with it, requests for information. And here we see the ex parte data. We see a table of, so the staff can see if they need to know that this activity was found from ex parte data and it was found from the state. And the Boys and Girls Club was self-reported. I could go through and work this case and close it out, but I'll leave this for now. Just to call out for auditing purposes, we are tracking which activities come through as automated and which were manually entered by the member. That's important for any reporting purposes. And as we've mentioned in the past, it's a metric we're indexing on because we want to make sure we're finding as many automated compliance and exemptions as possible. Okay, that's it for the automated compliance ex parte hours. Let's jump into the next feature, which is authorization with attribute-based access controls. So authorization ensures that members and staff only see and act on cases that they're allowed to. So based on some Medicaid agencies we've talked to, there is a need for counties to operate independently from each other, where counties can make the decisions on cases. There are also other programs available, such as SNAP. So we've designed our authorization model with that in mind. You'll just see Medicaid here for now. We designed for an admin and a caseworker, two staff roles, but this is a strong foundational framework to build on. We know that each state has their own roles and permissions, and we've designed for SSO and Active Directory in mind, and that integration will come later. So the model plans that states continue to manage staff roles and groups in their directory. OSCER reads in the roles and maps them to OSCER's policies with the idea that states won't need to rewrite the policy. They'll just say, our program administrator role maps to your admin role, our eligibility worker maps to your caseworker role, and OSCER applies the right rules. To demonstrate this, I'm logged in as an administrator. I'm logged in as Carol Grant here. And I can see, like, as an administrator, I'm in that Franklin region. And if you remember when we created that certification request, I'd selected Franklin as the region. And so I was able to see all the cases under Franklin region. But as an admin, I can see the batch uploads, organization settings, and the other search certification cases and tasks in the top navigation here. That'll be something to note. So here, as I go in, yeah, Casey Jobs, we were able to see there. I'm going to actually, so just to note, as we'll have Ed log in as Greg Leonard, a caseworker who can only see cases in Norfolk. And I'll stop sharing so Ed can show what his experience looks like.
Okay. All right, so here I am going to log in. Go over to the staff experience. And you can see up here in this navigation, I have fewer options than what Sumi showed. I'm a eligibility specialist or a caseworker at this point. If I go into the certification cases, I have three. I don't see Casey Jobs. I'm restricted to Norfolk region, and Casey applied in Franklin. So as a eligibility specialist aligned with Norfolk, I don't see those certification cases. Back to you.
Yep. And then I'll show one more. So I'm going to log in as a caseworker. Lily McCullough, and I can also only see search certification cases and tasks. And I should only see cases in the East region, so I'm seeing different cases than what Ed just showed as well. All right, so let's also jump into the GitHub documentation now, just to show, just to, I've already covered a lot of this, but mainly I want to transition into the GitHub documentation and show where this lives. So in our docs section, we have more on the architectural decision record around the authorization concept. It just goes into key points that I've already talked about. We pivoted from the traditional RBAC, role-based access control, to the attribute-based access control. Instead of building and maintaining roles inside OSCER, we pull attributes directly from the state's Active Directory. It's already their source of truth, so we didn't want to make a change there. This just means that there's no admin UI to manage roles. They'll manage it in their own system. It's a cleaner architecture, and it sets us up for a reusable pattern. Folks can look at this. This is public and in the repo. And so now that we're in the repo as well, let's look through other parts we've updated. More people have started using the repo, and we're really excited about that. Our repo was forked recently, and we had our first public PR contribution. And we just wanted to make sure that our documentation was clear. So if you go to the main page, you can see that we updated the README. There is a little more in the getting started section. You can find that video to set up OSCER locally with AWS Infra template. The getting started section is a little bit more fleshed out with the exploring the application section added here. We also have a link to our public demos. So if I go into the getting started section, you'll see that in there again. You'll see that OSCER install video that you can watch. And if you joined us last time, you saw the batch upload flow, and you can test this yourself. We have some step-by-step instructions here to test that with a sample CSV file. Another big change is that we have our roadmap publicly available as well in GitHub. So the bigger bodies of work here are labeled as epics or prefixed with epic. And you can click into them to see some background information and scope of the work. If it's something that we are actively working on or it's coming very soon, you can even see like the sub issues, how we've broken down the work and what we're doing currently. So you can see when items are coming through in our roadmap, and we'll still keep the high level roadmap on the navapbc.com Medicaid site, but you can come into GitHub to see this in more detail if you wanted to. And if you don't see something you expect to see or you want to see, you can come to the repo here and click on issues, click on new issue, and request a feature. And this, you can just give us a little bit more details on what you're looking for if you have references, and we will get in contact if we need more information as well. So we hope that these materials make using and setting up OSCER easier. And that's it for the demo portion. I'll jump back into the slides. So our roadmap is staying laser focused on the vision, meet HR1 fast, ensure eligible people receive coverage, reduce staff burden, and keep states in control. So in January, we're focusing on the next iteration of the exemption screener. This matters because many members who qualify for exemptions will lose coverage, not because they're ineligible, but because they can't navigate complex exemption processes. Ex parte can't catch everything, and exemptions like medical frailty, domestic violence may require members to self-identify. The screener inverts that burden, and instead of asking members to understand policy, we ask simple questions and surface exemptions for them. In February, we're building out secure API authentication. This matters because it's foundational for states to integrate with OSCER at scale. States need confidence that their data is protected and that access controls meet their security requirements before they can move toward production use. We'll also build out the Medicaid in-app integration, where we're showcasing how OSCER supports in-flow integration. So redirecting members from the state application into OSCER and then back to the state application. This matters because it keeps members in the experience at the moment they're engaged and reduces drop-off, collecting the information in real time rather than hoping members return later through a separate channel. In March, we're introducing intelligent document processing. So this is when blurry or incomplete uploads come through on the member side. This creates a cycle of resubmissions, manual workarounds, and delays. By catching the quality issues at the point of upload, we reduce frustration for members and free up staff to focus on getting benefits delivered faster. We're also planning on implementing single sign-on for staff. And this matters because staff already juggle multiple systems throughout their day. SSO removes that friction, aligns with state IT security standards, and makes OSCER feel like a natural part of their existing workflow, rather than another login to manage. You can find the descriptions of these in the GitHub public roadmap, so you can get more details there. But keep following along and stay engaged with us to influence our roadmap. So we're going to open the floor for questions in a bit, but before we do, I want to say plainly, we're ready to support you in whichever path you're taking. If you are a state, if you're with a state, we can help get the OSCER MVP in place, like integrating with your system and getting you ready to go so your team can build from there. And that's something we can usually do through a micro purchase. Or if you need deeper support through the full life cycle, we can partner with you through a fuller implementation. We want you to succeed, and we'd love to help however we can. If you are supporting a state and interested in using OSCER for your implementation, we're also ready to support your use of OSCER. We'll be reaching out to all of you in the next few days, and we'd love to talk more and explore if there's a path we might pursue together. And you can always reach out to us at medicaid@navapbc.com.